Okay, so welcome back, everyone, to my first actual live. I know I do my video premiere lives a lot, but my first actual live in real time in a very long time. Definitely the first time this year. So I'm going to pretty much do like an update on the way the charts are looking, and then I'll take a few questions, then we'll call it a night. But at first, just let me know if you can hear me. I'll type it in the chat. I don't look like an idiot here talking to myself. So let me know if you can hear me, and then I'm going to get into the charts if you can. First things first, I do say that we are building strength here. We talked about this yesterday. If you shot from Syracuse, hello. Okay, perfect. So we are building strength here. And what we need to do is pretty much break above this line here. And we come retest around like the 945 range. Just like I said the other day, this is perfectly normal for us to have like this cool down period. You'll see, we'll take a look at Bitcoin in a minute. You'll see because Bitcoin is kind of consolidating right below the point. I think last time I checked, there's around $200 below its first retest to kind of start like its next leg up, its little run here. So we'll have to confirm this in the macros. That's why I put this in the title saying that tomorrow is important because we're going to start getting some of those CPI numbers. And that's going to be the macros. When we're looking at the charts here, short-term time frames, we're looking at the halfway point throughout the year, some longer-term time frames, getting some of that concrete data. We have to understand that if we're looking to kind of get an idea on a longer-term time frame, we're going to have to mesh together the macros and the micros. So, the things that's going on with the economy, the whether or not we're going to see like a large breakdown and stuff like that, this is going to depend on a lot of the data that we're going to get for some of the macros, because the Bitcoin in general still has room to correct, to go down. So it's not necessarily at that max pain level. We know that investors can kind of come in and change that, but just so you know that we're not quite at that max pain level. So that room is there, but ultimately, if we're building strength here and consolidating at some higher highs, then obviously that's good, because Bitcoin does not always go to those max pain levels. And of course, if it doesn't, then it'll stop sending like those shock waves and dragging down the rest of the crypto market with it. So let's take a look here. So pretty much right now, Doge is rallying off of the 50-day simple moving average. This is what this blue line is. So we're pretty much this. Hopefully, if we get a close, even if it's green and we don't retest this line, they'll still be good, because that means that we've consolidated from our rest and we're literally building up strength here. Now, the only thing that can kind of mess this up is if the numbers come back and it's a huge miss tomorrow and it kind of takes the wind out of the sails. But again, that's that whole macro and micro thing. So let's take a look here at Bitcoin. Update here. Okay. So yeah, just as I last looked, Bitcoin 21,289, literally bouncing off of that top tier level before it starts getting into like its consolidation points. 286. The first point that we're looking for Bitcoin is going to be 21,478.80, and we'll kind of confirm that about $1,400 above that at 22,800, and the official reversal will be, you can really call it around like 25, but we'll have an idea. We'll see it coming before then. I know Bitcoin has had some wild swings, but volume wise, it hasn't had those kinds of swings in a while. But you can see the volume has been picking up. The thing that you have to be careful about, though, is something I talk about a lot here on the channel, is these gaps and these swings, because this year, if we get some disastrous CPI numbers or something like that, or a huge miss, we can fill this. That is not beyond impossibility here for us to fill this on the downside. So just kind of be careful with that. And this is kind of where you can see the normal crypto swings here. And let's go back here and look at Doge really quick. Not as big of a gap, but you see the similar motion. You see how they kind of trend together. That's why you kind of use Bitcoin as kind of like an indicator, but filling that gap can put us at around the 7 cent range, which I know it's not like falling 4 or 5 grand like Bitcoin, but still. Let's take a look here at the shorts. I haven't checked them today, even off camera. So shorts are heading out. So this is very good here. This is the Elon purchase, just so you guys know. So shorts have been consolidating day after day. So this is really good. If we get down here to this low point, I'll be ecstatic. But so that means that we're seeing, in a nutshell, that means that we're seeing more of a natural price action in Dogecoin. So that's pretty much what that means. You can check like Bitcoin shorts and stuff like that, but it's not, no one is, in my opinion, I don't believe any coin is as aggressive getting shorted as Dogecoin. But either way, this is really great that you see kind of like them running for the hills, really. Elon purchase. Yeah, I'm talking about the Elon Twitter purchase. That's what I meant. Sorry about that. I'd rather have a steady rise than a rocket ship. Absolutely. Rocket ships create rocket crashes. Sorry, I'm flipping around the different charts so much, but I wanted to do some of this live because sometimes in my shorter videos, I do this ahead of time so I can kind of have the numbers so that the video isn't so long, but I'm literally doing this. We're doing it together. So yeah, so what we're looking at is really, we'll get some confirmation tomorrow to kind of see what the state of the macros are and really see where this candle is going to close. So that this is really going to be ideal. And we should, this is on the day. So I don't think anything disastrous is going to happen here within the next half an hour or so. So we should be okay with this one. But again, this is the only thing we're going to have to kind of watch out for is this gap here and making sure that kind of like the plug doesn't get pulled tomorrow. But I am perfectly okay, even with the consolidation point, some sideways movement to kind of regain strength and go for that next run. So the key point that you're going to be looking for here, I know it's not highlighted with this little list, but it's going to be 945. That's what we're looking for here. That's going to break us above it. And that's our next. It's literally like this little neutral candle here and this sea of red. That's going to be, that's pretty much where we got rejected from right here. You see this long wick where we created this second point to this line. That's pretty much where we got rejected from anyway. So what we're looking for is a retest there. Then after that, we can talk about this 1118 mark here. And just kind of like how Bitcoin is a little bit closer, but it's like $1,400 between the 22 mark and where it is now. So it's kind of like if we break above this, the 9.45 and the 1118 is like the 22,000 to 25,000 for Bitcoin, to put it into perspective. So that's kind of what that means there. Let's see. When do you think we can hit 16? It depends on, because again, we're going to need macros to kind of mesh, but if we can't talk about 16 until we retest this 1118 mark. That was kind of like the pivotal point after our consolidation from the Elon purchase. So we'll have to kind of put things into perspective and kind of check volume and stuff like that out and what the state of the market is at that time. But we can't talk about like 16 or 17 or retesting any of these points up here because we have two ahead of us. It's like I've seen some catalysts saying that we can hit like 30K Bitcoin and stuff like that. Is it possible this year? Sure, but we can't seriously consider talking about that until we deal with 25 and 22. So, and I put Dogecoin in that same situation. We have 945 and 1118 ahead of us before we can talk about 16. Now, it's not. Is it out of the question for this year? No, I'm not. I can answer that truthfully. It's definitely not out of the question. But we have a few things that we need to kind of deal with ahead of time before we can seriously start talking about that. Where do I see Doge end of the year? It's a little early because I know technically speaking, if we're talking about halving and cycles and stuff like that, we should see, even in a normal market, we should see a gradual consolidation, at least a start to the bull run at the latest Q3, Q4. Typically, Bitcoin likes to start its ascend at around late November or mid December. So, and that's literally like end of the year. So we have to, and a lot can happen in between then and now. I mean, because if we get these CPI numbers, and we've seen a lot of economists saying that we're over tightening and stuff like that, and they start printing money again, we can start running in the summer. It's just, it's a little early right now to kind of do the end of the year thing. That's why I was just saying, like, 16 is not out of the question. We just kind of need the macros and micros to kind of mesh a little bit more. Deanne, thank you for always delivering the best tea. Thank you. I appreciate you. Let's see, 27,500 shares, 18 cents. Should I keep on buying to lower my average? I've been doing $10 a week. I mean, if you are, if you're long term in the coin, like if you're, saying I'm going to be in, and this goes for anything really, I'm going to be in XYZ for this amount of time. I get my average as low as I can. Like it's just, if I was, averaging in, like right now I'm buying, like Apple, Tesla and stuff like that. I love these prices because I'm long term in those assets. So it's just, at that point, share count, coin count matters to me. So it just depends on how you're playing it. So, buying an asset for more than 50% off your current average, for me, that's a great deal. Do you feel a Fed pivot will bring in more buyers? Yeah, I mean, that's typically how it will work. But a pivot can kind of mean kind of like a bottoming, or at least we're close, quote unquote. And you can technically see, you'll see the market kind of get more aggressive, because if we look at a lot of the big indicators here, I think real estate peaked last May. Stock market peaked, what is it? I don't think April to June of 2021, and we've had some rallies in between there. But in the grand scheme of things, it's been a slope. So a pivot will certainly, kind of, indicate like a bottom here, and we can just say, okay, well, bear market's over, and we're building up strength to kind of go and retest some of those previous highs, and hopefully, start the next cycle and ascend to new highs. And that's typically how it works. Buffering. Am I still buffering? Can everybody hear me okay? I didn't realize I was buffering. Okay. Let's see. What do I think about the Doge launch in March? I feel the same way. I've been saying this for a while. I think that it's a great marketing campaign, but I don't look at it as a staple for like price action or anything that is going to do anything long term for the coin. Like if it's, I think anything, it's probably going to be an indicator for a lot of swing traders and stuff to kind of come in and try and like pump the coin up to do like a quick flip. But long term, I don't see it doing anything outside of just a really big marketing campaign for the coin. But I think that the biggest benefits that we're going to have to the coin are going to come through utility. So like that Twitter integration, things like that. I think that's going to do far more for Dogecoin. And even outside of it, I don't like, because of the amount of times that launch has been delayed and pushed back and all that kind of stuff. I'm probably not even going to make videos about it until like maybe Elon says something about it himself, and then I'll probably cover it, because it just keeps, that thing is just, I don't even want to go into it, but I'm sure you guys, if you've been following it, it's been pushed back like a million times. So I try not to, base anything around that. And I believe that kind of leans more on like the hopium side, just kind of like some FOMO, but it's not really FOMO. It's just a particular event. So you'll have a bunch of people kind of come in, and probably more than likely they're going to sell. So you can see almost, probably not to that extreme, but you can see like a similar SNL effect when Elon went on. So because it's just a particular event, it's not something long term that's going to be in the coins. You're going to see a bunch of people come in for a quick flip, and if anything, it'll probably do some damage because it'll trigger panic and stuff like that, and you can have an overshoot to the downside depending on how much volume and stuff gets pumped into the coin. So you kind of got to just take that into consideration. If you watch some of my older videos, I use the rubber band analogy. Like if you pull it really high to the high side and you let it go, and before it stops at its equilibrium, it does that bounce, and it dips down below where it previously was. That's a similar effect that you can kind of see. Let's see. When do you think Elon will accept Dogecoin as Twitter's official cryptocurrency? I have no idea. I believe he will, but I have no idea on a time frame for that. Let's see. I'm fearful for Doge launch. Lots of people will likely sell. In my opinion, sounds like another. Precisely. Okay, we're on the same page. We're on the same page. Let's see. Hi, could you tell us what you expect from Twitter wallets? Can I move my Doge from Robinhood to Twitter? You think? I think that'll be there's a benefit of it and convenience, because if you're using Twitter for tipping in Doge or to pay for Twitter Blue or something like that, or whatever programs he rolls out, I think it'll be convenient. Even for a lot of people who don't, want to go through the trouble of getting a wallet or a ledger or something like that, I think it'll just kind of make things more convenient and easy for people. And ultimately, that's the goal anyway, is to make sure that we're not holding our crypto on the exchanges. We've seen more than enough examples last year of what happens when they control your coins or have access to them. You can see they can pretty much do whatever they want, i.e., Gemini, Voyager, FTX, it's, not your wallet, not your crypto, right? So I think that as long, and Elon has been an advocator for owning your keys for quite some time. So I do believe the Twitter wallet will have a version where you can actually own your keys. So ultimately, that'll benefit the coin. You're able to move your coins from the exchanges, and they'll kind of like drain that supply there, so that they're not having access to so many coins. So it just kind of makes it more expensive for like lending and shorts and stuff like that. So it's just a number of benefits outside of you not getting screwed if the whatever exchange is holding your crypto goes belly up. So I expect a lot of people to kind of make that transition, or if they don't have wallets, as they get accustomed to getting tips and stuff like that on Twitter, they'll opt to go with Twitter, because that'll be the main source of utility. So it'll just be an easy transition for them. Hit the like button. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate you. So do you think Elon is waiting for Bitcoin halving to start to make use for case for Twitter, at least toward when crypto is moving up, skipping the bear market? I don't know. I mean, that could be a case, but I don't know if I don't know if he'd do that, because technically it'll be a little easier now, because people aren't, right now people are kind of like parking or in their accumulation phase. So it's not the same as everyone saying that I want access to my crypto, or I'm going to keep it on my exchange versus so I can sell for profit if it does something crazy. Because in the middle of a bull market, people, that's typically like one of the main questions I get is how quickly can I move it from my ledger to sell it or something like that, or can I sell it on Ledger Live and stuff like that. So typically people are not, depending on what kind of investor they are, they're not interested in kind of parking their crypto or not having it readily available so they can hit sell. So in my opinion, I think it would be ideal to do it now versus in a bull market. So I don't know, maybe he has some strategy or something like that can indicate otherwise, but in my opinion, it would make better sense to do it now. I swear they keep saying Doge 1 launch was going to happen a while ago, but it seems like they keep pushing it. Yeah, that's why I don't even talk about it anymore, because I'm going to wait until Elon says something about it, because it's like, yeah, Doge 1 is going to happen next month, and then next month nothing happens, and Doge one is going to happen 2 months from now. Then, I'm like, okay, whatever. So until Elon says something about it, that's when you'll hear about it from me again. Have I heard about DeFi wallets? Sata Pro, I have not. David, how fearful are you when it comes to Doge or regulation and CBDCs in 2023 and 24? I'm not necessarily fearful. It's just that because I kind of expected it. I made some videos concerning regulation in the middle of the bull market, because when we were hitting trillions of dollars in market cap evaluation, and we seen, Doge hit almost 100 billion, I knew that's just like a huge flag for the government to say, okay, we want in on that. So I'm not necessarily fearful. I have to kind of wait to see what angle they're going to take, because we see the BS and lack of regulation that's going on in the stock market. So if they're going to do something along those lines, then it may not be so bad. But if they're like, we need to kind of stomp out the rest of crypto so everybody can use our crypto dollar, or kill crypto altogether, or something like that. If I get that type of energy from it, whatever regulations they start rolling out, then yeah, I'll be very concerned. But as of right now, until I start hearing what the angle that they're actually going to take, I'm not necessarily fearful right now, because I expected them to come when we started putting up those kinds of numbers. How about my Doge and Robinhood? Do you think it will ever go under? I don't think Robinhood will go under per se. Robinhood is what I would call a hybrid, because a lot of the time, most of the brokerages, I put them in the same category as I do Webull. Most of the brokerages that we've seen have been exclusively limited to like crypto, right? Especially the ones that had issues. And as we know, crypto is extremely volatile, and normally it's something comes up where there's a run and people want to make withdrawals, and they start freezing withdrawals and all that kind of good stuff like that. And normally that starts a domino effect. Robinhood also is primarily a stock brokerage, right? So they have their livelihood is not, even though we've seen things like Dogecoin and crypto kind of make up, when at the height of the run, make up a lot of their income, but that's not where all of their money is coming from, right? So I think that they have some advantages over the strictly crypto brokerages, but I don't want to say that they'll never go under. I have to take a look at their books and stuff like that. But I do think that Robinhood will be okay in the long term. But it is, in my opinion, that I don't trust any of them to hold my crypto, because the company is the company. They're going to do what's in their best interest initially, and and what's in their best interest is more than likely not going to be in your best interest. So you're going to have to run your portfolio like a business and say, okay, what's in my best interest? And 9 times out of 10, it's going to be in your best interest to have control of your crypto. So, I wouldn't, you can do it, but I just say it's risky to have your all your crypto on a wallet, on an exchange, no matter what kind of exchange it is. Let's see. Doge one announcement is a trap for retails and then delay it and dump. Yeah, I don't feed too much into it until Elon says something. I'm not gonna jump on it. It's been delayed too much. Someone mentioned that Elon is someone from his group was announcing some news on January 26th. Okay, yeah, that's cool. Yeah, if Elon says something about it, then I will put my 2 cents in on it. But until then, I don't care what report says what YouTuber says what. Not counting on it, and at this end of the day, it's not going to be sustainable volume anyway. That's just literally going to be a hype day. So unless you're hoping to swing or something like that, if you're long term, it's not going to do extremely much. Those ones supposed to happen last year around this time. My point exactly. Never leave all your coins on exchange. Facts. So did you scoop any Tesla shares when it dipped around 110 and 102? Absolutely. Absolutely. No, those are my favorite numbers. I was talking about it in my my group, and I was telling them about the possibility of Tesla hitting like below 105, maybe like 3 or 4 days before it did, and that was just my target range. Even if it goes below $100, I'd be ecstatic. I'm long on Tesla. I think Tesla is going to be fine. I think we'll see another Tesla split in the future. So and from where it is right now, it's probably like an easy like 10x because it normally splits it at $1,000. So I am perfectly okay with Tesla at these prices. You will hear no complaints from me. Let's see, where do you think Doge can go if it's integrated into Twitter from this point? Integrating into Twitter, having mass scale utility, removing most of the coins from exchanges, like never to return, even without just like a massive rush of, I'll just say, new people coming in, or just kind of like a repeat of like last market. We'll see. I believe we'll see the numbers that we've seen at the peak of the last bull run easily, because I think that what was the biggest issue outside of just was hype and FOMO and all that kind of stuff like that, and of course the market getting diluted, was the fact that everyone was holding simply to sell, and more than likely they were on exchanges. So if we go back and we look at the shorts through then, because everyone was simply had them on exchanges and not necessarily having them in their own wallet, something like a Twitter wallet, they were getting shorted to oblivion. And then you have all these famous people saying that, okay, well, the party's over, we're going to short Dogecoin now and stuff like that, and it's trash. And then they start putting out all of this media and stuff like that to tell you, oh no, you shouldn't be buying this, you shouldn't be buying this, and stuff like that. And it's easy to, when you couple that with the fact that a lot of people were really, really new into crypto, it kind of shorten, or I'll say hurt the potential of the high points of that coin at that time. But I think now a lot of people have a little bit more experience. They know better. People are going to be moving their coins. So I think that even at those numbers and stuff, it wouldn't be nothing for us to see over $1. I have to kind of gauge it at that time. But when we remove those coins from the exchanges, that's going to be the biggest thing, which is to remove those coins and limit the access that people have to kind of shorting them. I did a whole series on shorts, if you watched it, and it's pretty much just a phony sell order that gets injected into the market immediately, and it can affect the price immediately, even though they haven't technically purchased the asset to begin with, and they can purchase it in the future and then obviously dump it at that time. But it's just a mass manipulation thing. I think it should be illegal. So I think that integrating it into Twitter will eliminate a lot of the issues that we saw on the first run, and we can see much higher returns, if that makes sense. So do I sell some Doge to fund the project or hold off and wait a few months? I thought 2022 was the year of Doge, but should I be more patient? It depends on what your project is. I don't like telling people when to buy and when to sell. I like pointing out like great entries based off of price points and what I would do. I'm not a financial advisor and stuff like that. I have no idea what your project is and what it means to you. That's going to have to be a personal decision. But I will say that crypto, investing in general, crypto stocks, all that kind of good stuff, it definitely requires patience. So you're going to have to kind of just weigh out that importance to you. Let's see. What will it take for Doge to go to $3 to $5? Massive utility. That's what utility, and really two things: utility and people having their own wallets. So that's really the biggest thing. Or if they keep printing money like they did in 2020. If they keep printing 20% of all the dollars that exist in a year, it'll be there before you know it. course, that'll be bad for the dollar, but if they keep that up, we'll certainly be there. Let's see. I believe Doge is an easy multi-dollar coin. Just need to stop depending on events and gimmicks. We need that real utility and staying power to create stability that maybe Twitter will bring. I agree. We can agree on that. Absolutely. I'll put this in here. And please like the video if you have not. I have not done a live in forever. I know YouTube is funny with lives compared to regular videos. So if you can, just please like the video. Let's see. Food chains are interested in crypto utility. Yeah, food chains are interested. And this is something that I've been speaking on a few times, because I think that what we have to be mindful of is we need some regulation into the markets, because if we're saying that we need massive utility to strengthen Doge or to strengthen the crypto market in general, we're going to have to not have these bankruptcies or these scandals like every other month in the crypto. Like if you're a large business owner, chain, fast food chain and stuff like that, that would terrify those companies that these coins are getting rug pulled or that they're not able to, it's proven to be liquid. So, this is something that's kind of going to have to be one of those things that's smoothed down in the market so that you're not having, this negative press or some type of scandal every, month or two in the market. So, that regulation and stuff is going to come in handy. And I know to someone else's point was asking, was I fearful of regulation? That would be one of the things that I'd be fearful of, is if they come in with that at that angle saying that, hey, we know you guys are interested in using crypto, and we know you guys are scared of, all the BS that's going on. Here is the crypto dollar backed by the US government. So you don't have to worry about all that scammy stuff or, FTX and brokerages being illiquid, all that kind of stuff like that. Just use our coin. That is alarming, because that would be like a direct attack on crypto to kind of redirect your funds back to the government. So that would be something that would be alarming here, and just kind of capitalizing off of the fear and saying that, you can, just use our coin instead. So that'll be something that'll kind of, raise, have me a little concerned. But fast food utility and all that kind of stuff, I think that's going to come after we get some regulation and we can kind of ease the mind of these larger chains and these multi-billion-dollar corporations, because even if they're super interested in crypto, I know that's going to be a red flag for them. Let's see. Do I think Doge will reach 75 cents again by the end of the year? I doubt it. It's possible, but I doubt it, because technically we are scheduled to start, even if it's at the end of the year, we are scheduled to start the bull run this year. But something dramatic would have to change for us to kind of get that back, because that will put Bitcoin, 50K or so. So technically speaking, unless there was some type of huge reallocation in the market, that would put our market capital back over like $3 trillion. So that would literally mean that we'd have to bottom probably now, within like the next month or so, and then to kind of start the bull run relative. I say definitely Q1, maybe early Q2 at the latest, and spend the rest of the year climbing. So I'll just say it's slim chances for that. Let's see, my life will be complete when I can buy some chicken nuggets with Doge. Understood. Regulation will help crypto market in the long run. I agree. I have nothing against regulation. It just depends on what type of regulation, right? Because there's, regulation and manipulation. They're real close. So you got to be careful there. How did Bitcoin go so high? How did Dogecoin go so high in one day? Is Bitcoin really that high of a utility already, even though it's not the best option for a currency? No. The Bitcoin's price increases and Dogecoin price increases are two different things. Bitcoin is the chosen one of crypto. It is the institutional favorite. Bitcoin, Ethereum, stuff like that. They're always going to appreciate quicker and have higher allocations. Excuse me. Than a lot of these other coins. If you think of Bitcoin, think of the crypto market as like the soda industry. Bitcoin would be Coca-Cola, right? It's just I don't know what another way to put it, but it's literally just the chosen one. So it's going to have the higher allocation of institutional money. And you'll see they're not necessarily going to say we're only going to invest in Bitcoin. They'll do like a spread. Top 5 will kind of be the heaviest, but top 10 normally we'll see a very close trend with whatever like the top 3 are doing. So that's how even if I was looking at the chart a few moments ago, I was saying that you can kind of see like right here, you see this run up here in Dogecoin, like these gaps, and it's just all green candles. If you see the same thing here, right? Now, it's not as aggressive, obviously, because again, Bitcoin is going to have a higher allocation of money, but you'll see that they'll kind of trend together because Bitcoin and Doge. You look at the area where they're like in the top 10, you'll see a similar reaction versus if it were Bitcoin and a number 80th coin or something like that, you might not get a reaction at all because the 80th coin in market cap may be doing its own thing, if that makes sense. So it's literally 2 different reasons, but we'll get similar reactions, but it's not completely for the same reason, if that makes sense. Go back here. Okay, what else? I'm gonna take a few more questions and then I'll wrap it up. Let's see. Let me scroll down. If Fed raised by 50 BP points, what would be your take on that? I think that'll hurt the market. For the most part, it has been kind of factored in to do 0.25. I think 0.50 will be a shock. And it'll more than likely cause a downtrend in the market. So I don't think that'll be good for the market if they do 50 basis points. So that'll certainly send some shock waves. I personally like a little more consolidation at this point. Yeah, a lot of people say that, but at the end of the day, we're out of like the optimal zone, in my opinion. But if you're long term, and especially if this is already still below your average, then it's still good. Like the guy that said his average was like 18 cents or something. Yeah, this is still more than 50% off your average. So you can't, if you're long term, you can't split hairs like that. You're still getting your average down pretty aggressively. Let's say, do you think Doge can be integrated in a play to earn game like Lotto Doge? I guess it can. I don't see why not. I just don't know if that's going to be an angle for it. But in theory, I don't see why not. Do you think crypto is about macros or all about Bitcoin halving? I think it's a combination. I think Bitcoin, just because the allocation of funds and stuff, is still kind of is pretty dominant over the direction or at least the amount of volume that's in the market. But macros certainly play a big point because if we're seeing that most of the money that comes into Bitcoin is from institutions, then macros absolutely plays a big point into that because how tight money is, how expensive money is to borrow, the state of the employment and all that kind of stuff like that. That's all domino effects that determines how much free cash for investing and stuff like that institutions actually have. So I think it kind of comes full circle. Excuse me. Could you go over a few Doge support levels? I'm not sure if I missed. Yeah, I'll wrap it up with that. But these blue lines here, you're going to see pretty much like it's going to be like the optimal buying zone. Our next key point here is going to be 945, 946. That's going to be our retest to even break above this. And if we break above that, then we can talk about the 1118 mark. So, because these are typically gaps. So depending on volume, if we get, a rally in the markets or something like that, then we can, because this is not necessarily strong support, but it did hold up last time. So we can't rule it out at 945. But before we start talking about double digits again and stuff like that, this is going to be our giant to slay, for example. And I went into a lot of the TA on that earlier in the video if you wanted to go back. But yeah, so right here, 945, that's going to be our biggest issue in the short term. Right now we're bouncing off of the 50-day moving average. We're pretty much having a slight consolidation here, and that's fine. We had this huge run up, took like a consolidation, like a rest break per se. And we have another green candle that looks like it's going to close to the upside. So even if we got this rally to break it, or we consolidate it roughly right here, that's fine. Bitcoin is doing a similar pattern. Wait, that's not my chart. Where's my chart? There we go. Bitcoin is doing a similar pattern here, but however, it is above its 200-day moving average, but it's consolidating here right at the bottom of its threshold, about $1,200 below its first rejection point. Really, the pivotal one is going to be around the 22,800 mark, and then we can start talking about 25, and that'll be kind of like we'll be like reversal territory. And then we can start talking about reversals and bottoms and stuff like that. So consider this the 945 mark on Doge and the 11-cent mark, right? So this is kind of going to be like our tell points for right now, but it does not rule out, like I said earlier in the video, we need macros to kind of align because Bitcoin has not seen max pain yet. There's certainly room for it to go down. Even on the extreme side, there's some support roughly around like 14K, but that full 85% correction that crypto is known to do will put Bitcoin at roughly around 10K. So there is certainly some room for it to go down. We've seen a lot of economists saying that they believe that we could be over tightening with the basis points and stuff like that. And we're probably going to see a strong recession this year. On the aggressive side of that, then you can kind of see Bitcoin or Doge kind of fill those run ups that we've seen. You can kind of fill them on the downside. They'll put Doge back at around 7 and Bitcoin, I think roughly around like 18K. So that's kind of like a brief recap of what happened earlier in the video. Thank you for sharing your thoughts and wisdom. Really helps. No, I appreciate you. Thank you. Preparing for people to buy steers or crypto. Okay, absolutely. Yeah, crypto. That's technically what it'll be for, our own currency. You think crypto is decoupling from the stock market? Not yet. We'll have a better gauge on that on the next bull run, but I think that we're probably going to have to see a consolidation in crypto first, right? We're going to need to see some of these. I think that I think over 90% of the crypto market is absolutely worthless, like a lot of these coins. And I don't think they're going to be here 5 years from now. So I think that we're going to have to see kind of like a consolidation first. And then we can probably see crypto do its own thing, especially if we start getting mass utility. And these coins are not necessarily all on the market at the same time. We can probably see some divergence there. I'm at 16 average. That 05 was real nice. You did call it though. I'm long on the coin, so I can stay like this until it's not a recession is over. Absolutely. Yeah, this is not a recession, right? So last one. Thank you for going live. Really motivates me to keep watching your content and have my notifications on. Thank you. I appreciate you. And for everybody, just thank you guys for tuning in with me tonight. Like the video, share it with a friend, subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff. And I'm going to try to go live more so I can do the TA and stuff with you guys live. But yeah, just, share the video. Let me know in the comments what your thoughts are. Or if you want me to go live more, let me know. Because typically I know I like to create shorter form content because this has been like 45 minutes now. But if you guys like talking to me, hey, I'll keep doing it. But until then, I will see you guys in the next video. Have a good night.